get a good one? Our board of directors meets several times a year as a group. We've mostly been just meeting virtually, but that may change in the near future. And we are just wanting to gather your voices. The only way we can do that is if you get involved. If you are interested in joining your of our organization, letting us know what you need, what it is that we can do to best support you, please do sign your name. As you came in and kind of the field split, there's some boards there. Don't be afraid. It's okay to use a Sharpie. And give us your name so we know who it is that's interested in each of those areas. You're not obligating yourself to anything just by signing up. It means, I want some more information. What does it mean to be involved in this way? This is a tough time for educators, and we value the contributions that you have, but we also value the time that you need to do your life and your teaching and your regular job. And so I promise not to overwhelm our board members or council members. It is something that we do voluntarily for our organization, but it is not scary. It really is something that we just need to hear from you so we can best meet your needs. So thank you again to our board of directors. And next up, we have a special award to present today. And I'd like to call up Mark Fulmer. Thank you. Mark Fulmer is here from Illinois, but representing our Midwest district.
Thank you very much. Lucky enough to have the opportunity to have been here in the past, and this is like a physical educator's dream, right? Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So to everyone in Shape and your leadership and your convention crew, awesome job. A round of applause for them, because I understand how hard and all the effort that goes into this. Midwest District, just for your own information, is comprised of 6 states: Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. And we have a lot of people that are involved from all of those states in roles, capacities, leadership roles and capacities within the Midwest District. And if you are interested in getting involved, I strongly encourage you to take those steps. And please contact the leaders of In Shape, or you can reach out to me as well. Finally, I had an opportunity last night to really chit-chat and inspire this individual. We want to recognize Midwest District is very proud and honored to have Alyssa Jackson. Alyssa, please come up. Alyssa is receiving the Midwest District 2021 Young Professional Award. Alyssa, outstanding.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark, for being here, and congratulations to Alyssa. We're all cheering for her as she goes to New Orleans this spring, as she is up for the national award. Now, that's something to aspire to for those of you who are future and young professionals. There are lots of opportunities for receiving awards in the future for your excellence to this profession. Because again, our kids deserve it. And if you're the one who's bringing it every day, we want to recognize you for your excellence in education. As a quick note, can I have a stand up of all of those who are our future and young professionals today? Please stand up so we can recognize. I know we've had some sessions that really rocked. We've had some energy brought just even in your attendance at sessions. So thank you for what you're doing. We're excited to work with you. Please don't hesitate to get involved, to contact us. You are part of this organization. You are not coming into this organization sometime. You are our organization. So please get involved. We love you and we want to support you as you're getting started in this awesome career path. And now I want to turn it over to Joe Bailey from Wisconsin, who is a fantastic educator. She's a Teacher of the Year for Shape America. She is on the board of directors for Shape of America. She is the most wonderful, giving, helpful, useful, share anything kind of an educator. And we're so excited to introduce Jo Bailey as our keynote speaker for today.
Mic'd on?
No.
Hi, can you hear me now? How about now? Oh, hey, there we go. We're in business. Okay, good morning, everybody. First of all, I am so thrilled to be able to be here today. I would say huge thank you to Indiana Shape for first of all inviting us, for second of all for putting on the conference. It's the hardest thing in the world to try and organize one of these events, let alone when things like pandemics and so on get in the way, and then you have to do everything and change your dates and so on. So can we have another round of applause for the InShape folks, because they do so much work behind the scenes to make this happen for everybody. So thank you so much. Okay, so we're on a little road trip here, which is kind of exciting. I'm going to give you a little bit of background. I sound a bit different. Started off in Burntwood in the central of England. And when I was 11, my parents said, let's move to Hong Kong. And I was like, okay. Hong Kong, it's actually in Japan. It's right at the bottom of China. I went to school there. I ended up teaching there as well. That was my old school in Hong Kong. Let's just say you got a lot of stairs in. We had little roof areas to teach in. And then in 2004, my husband was like, let's move to Warsaw, Wisconsin, which is obviously the logical progression from England to Hong Kong to Warsaw, Wisconsin. I've been teaching at DCO Senior High School now for the last 17 years, which has gone in about 3 seconds flat, which is amazing. So that's my story in a brief, very brief snapshot. So I've got my husband, Mark, who is super supportive at letting me run off places, literally run off places to go running. And my 2 children who are mostly equally supportive, but also get quite excited when I go places, because normally it means they can get away with whatever they want to get away with. So not that they're going to miss me. Okay, so yeah, it's not 2020 anymore. It's not 2021 anymore. But I don't know about you, but the last year, and we could probably even add a 2 onto this, you may have felt that you have been on some sort of a roller coaster ride. You didn't know what you were going to expect. A little bit of excitement, perhaps, to start off with. 2020 was going to be this amazing year. You can all see clearly now because of your 2020 vision. And then it all went a little bit pear-shaped. So at some point, you might have been like, oh, this is a little bit strange. What's happening here? You might have felt varying emotions along the way. Perhaps you were screaming your head off. Perhaps you fortunately can't see the lady on the left-hand side here who's literally not amused at what is going on whatsoever. Some of you might have felt terrible at various points along the way as well. Hopefully, though, hopefully you got through it. And we're starting to see that things are slowly getting better. And if we can get through that, I think we're going to be able to get through anything. So that leads us on the journey. We're going to go on a little journey today. This is Indy. Indy is on her way to Indiana because they're like, oh, there's a conference, let's go. Very excited to learn lots from the people from Indiana. So they get in their car and they take off. And along the way, they're like, well, I've not been to InShape before. I don't know what it's like. What should I bring? And they discover they've got a little bit of extra time on their way. So they decide to pop in and do a little road trip around Indiana before they get to the InShape conference. First of all, they make a little pit stop in Gary, Indiana. Anyone from Gary, Indiana here? We've got a couple of people. All right. The region. The whole region.
The region. It's that area.
That area, yes. Okay. I know what you're saying.
It is
The region. Okay, not the place. Got it. So they stop in there and they ask for some advice. So what should I bring? I don't know what to take with me. And the first piece of advice they get from the region of Gary, Indiana, is that they should pack a mirror in the suitcase. And they're like, okay, thought I looked all right this morning. They're like, no, here's why you want to pack a mirror for yourself. When we look in the mirror, sometimes we like what we see. We're like, all right, looking all right today. Sometimes we look in the mirror and we're like, oh, not quite so good this morning. So what do? We make adjustments. They said, if you've got your mirror in there, you can use that for your teaching as well. Because there's sometimes when you're teaching, you do like what you see. You do like how it's going. And other times you realize, no, this is not looking good at all. I need to make a change here. So the first thing you're going to pack to make sure it's always available for you to check out and see, do you like what you see? Or there are a few adjustments that need to be made. You're going to pack your mirror and just like, sweet, mirror, got it, check. Okay. She's back on the road again. This time she stops in the LaPorte region. Is the LaPorte region okay? We good there? Okay, we go to the LaPorte region next. Need some gas. Stops off there. What's the next person? Good in shape, super excited. What do I need to take with me? Next piece of advice they get, take a pair of scissors. Scissors? What am I going to do? What am I doing with a pair of scissors? Am I going to do some haircuts or something? No, because your scissors represent things that perhaps you might want to cut out of what you're doing. Last year, if anything, was a huge example for all of us that whether you were hybrid, online, going backwards and forwards, you didn't know what you were doing from one week to the next. You probably were not able to do what you would normally like to do in your classroom. Put your hand up if you had to cut something out last year, either willingly, or unwillingly, exactly. But at the same time, sometimes there's things that we have that we actually don't need. And we might have realized, even if in the time we didn't want to cut them out whatsoever, we realized actually it might not have been a bad thing, that we did things a long way, and we might have replaced them with something else that was better. So we're going to have our scissors as well. Now, third up, Indy heads into South Bend. Ask another person, hey, going in shape, excited, what do I need? This person hands them a mysterious package. You want to take this with you. By the way, normally I would not recommend accepting packages from strangers at any point in time. However, this person seemed quite trustworthy. And of course, they taught health and PE or adaptive PE, and they were definitely trustworthy. So they hand them this mysterious package. And Indy opens the package. He's like, I don't actually see anything. What is it? And the person says, just hold on a second. Now, I don't know if the sound is going to work on here. Any of you know about Harry Potter? Okay, I like Harry Potter because you can do spells. Anyhow, at some point, Harry Potter receives a package, and in it, there is an invisibility cloak, which I think every single one of us at some point during our lives could definitely have done. You can't be seen in an invisibility cloak. And he's just like, well, okay, why would I want to go and hide? And the person that gave him the cloak said, no, you're not getting it. The reason why you want the cloak, is because sometimes you need to get out of the way. Get out of the way of your students. Stop thinking you have to be front and center and in control of everything. Sometimes you just need to step out to the side, facilitate. Don't literally leave wherever you're at, obviously. But imagine you have an invisibility cloak that you're taking with you so you can let the learning and the magic happen. We do not need to be in control of everything, even if sometimes it really, really feels like it. I'm just like, oh, all right, sweet. Invisibility cloak. All right. Next on the mass road trip. Sorry. Indy heads to Fort Wayne. And she's given a little car, a little miniature DeLorean. She's like, I think I've seen this in a movie at some point. Isn't this the one where I'm supposed to go 88 miles an hour and somehow end up somewhere else? Friends like, yeah, that's it. Don't do it on the roads here, though, otherwise you might get yourself in a little bit of trouble. So he's like, oh, that's nice. What am I going to do with this magical little small DeLorean? And the person said, you are going to be WIABDA. Now, you've all heard of the acronym WIABDA, haven't you? No? An acronym in education that you didn't know? No. This isn't an A. WIABDA actually stands for the way it's always been done. One of the most dangerous things that we have in the world is the way it's always been done. And they said, this little DeLorean is to stop you, to get you out of the way it's always been done and into the future. Because sometimes WIABDA is holding us back from where we want to go. And it's like, okay, so what I was doing 15 years ago may not be the same thing I want to be doing today. Got it. All right, sweet. So avoid the way it's always been done. Where do we go next? I've got a little cheat sheet in case you haven't noticed. Okay, we are going to Huntington. All right, good morning, Huntington. So in Huntington, it's about time for some lunch in Huntington. Indy stops and asks the next person he meets, going to Indiana Shake. Super excited. Well, what do I need to take with me? This time, she gets an advice you need. First of all, do you use a rule book? Do you follow rules all the time? And it's like, yeah, rules, super important. The person said, nah, check it out. Why do you need to follow all the rules that you think you need to follow? Yes, we need structure. Yes, we need some. But I certainly know that as a beginning teacher, I felt that if you didn't do it by the rules, you weren't doing it the right way. If you were playing a sport, it had to be by the rules or it wasn't done right. You couldn't have the variation of, well, maybe I want 2 hits when playing badminton. Well, maybe I want to use both feet when I'm doing something else with my feet. So while rules are important and structure is important, we don't always need to follow all the rules to the T. Be willing to throw the rule book in the rubbish bin, along with the things you've always been doing that maybe aren't relevant anymore. Chuck them out. Be willing to be a little bit more flexible in your approach to what you're doing. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So I don't need to follow the full rules of full contact, 15-a-side rugby for my group who've never played it before. Okay, got it. No problem. All right, next journey. We had 2. Where are we going? Lafayette. Did I say that right? I did. Woo, sweet. All right, Lafayette. I heard it's such a fun place. And it's like, I heard this place is full of really, really fun people. We can see right here. Lafayette, they recommend you need games. I'm like, well, I got games. I got loads of games. No. You need to put games in your bag. Because if you start gamifying things, you are going to get your students hooked on whatever it is that you're trying to deliver. You tell them to do a warm up, and they're like, okay, I'll do the warm up. But if you change it a little bit, and you're like, actually, today you're going to be doing a superhero workout, and you can choose. Do you want to be Iron Man? Do you want to be Spider-Man? Do you want to be Superman? Do you want to be, give me another superhero.
Black Widow.
The Black Wonder. Who do you want to be? All of a sudden, okay, I'm Superman. I will do whatever Superman needs to do to earn that for today. So you've given them choice. You've given them a little framing around it. And all of a sudden, they're off making their own choices, believing that they are Superman, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, whoever it might be, even if it's just for 5 minutes. And I can tell you, they a little secret, even at the high school level, they love stickers. Absolutely love stickers. There's a couple of things on there. I do give rope stickers for when students earn they've tied off their rope knots and their skills for rope management. Oh, they wear that little sticker with pride. And smiley faces for completing chosen climbing challenges. Oh yeah, they want their stickers. So the more you can gamify, the more you're going to get some buy-in from your students. And who doesn't love a good game of Uno? All right, next up. Who's familiar with Doctor Who? A few of you. Okay. If you're not sure what Doctor Who is, it's another time traveler. And Doctor Who traveled around this Tardis, this blue police box here. But every so often, Doctor Who realized that maybe they needed to regenerate themselves. They needed to completely change their appearance and what they look like and become a new person. And people of Terre Haute, did I say that correctly? Yes. So these are a bit tricky on the pronunciation front. People of Terre Haute said, yeah, you definitely want to be having your Tardis, because your Tardis can make sure you are regenerating yourself. And that's exactly what you're going to do at In Shape. Because you're going to be learning new ideas, you're going to be meeting new people, you're going to be connecting, and all of a sudden you're going to feel like, I'm a new person. When you step out of here and back into your school or college or university, wherever it is you're heading back to tomorrow. And little fun secret here, I don't know if you know this, if you go onto Google Maps, you know you can do Street View. There is actually a street view of the Tardis. I think it's on Oxford Street in London, and the little Easter egg, you can actually go inside the Tardis and start looking around. So if you're ever bored one day and like, oh, I wonder what a time traveler looks like, then there you are. You can find out. Okay, we are heading down to Bloomington. So we're getting towards South Indiana, Southwest Indiana. Right. Next up, North Indiana, they are recommending that you take a shapeshifter with you. They're also Harry Potter fans as well. And they're like, India's like, what's a shapeshifter? I'm not sure what that is. Well, that is your ability to literally shift what you're doing in a moment's notice. Has anyone ever had to do that in their teaching experience? Yeah, happened to you too. Like all of a sudden you had the world's best lesson plan, but it's raining, or someone forgot to tell you that they're taking your gym in 4 minutes time. Yeah, sound familiar? If anybody is good at shape-shifting, I'd say it's people in the health and PE profession. Not only that, we can place to place to place to place to place with, I don't know, maybe -5 minutes to set everything up, and always carried or transported as well. So you're going to pack your shapeshifter as well, because then no matter what happens, you are ready to evolve and change as you need. Okay, now, Indy got a little bit worried here. Into Washington. And all of a sudden, she's handed a box of tissues. She's like, you're going to make me cry? No? It's like, no. The tissues, they're to represent your emotions. Because you want to make sure that you are ready for all the emotions that you are going to feel, and that you're going to hopefully, the positive emotions, help your students feel. Because we do want them to make sure whatever it is that we're doing, they are feeling accomplished. They are feeling that level of satisfaction. They are getting the warm fuzzies from the people that they're actually working with. They do have incentives to work hard, to see what they can truly do for themselves. So those tissues, they are hopefully for all the joy that your students are going to experience during your classes, hopefully to wipe away your tears of joy, and hopefully not to ever clean up any germs or anything else that sometimes might pop out of there. Okay, yeah, moving down. Evansville. Any Evansville in the house? Maybe some people. Okay, so into Evansville. Indy gets given a ball of yarn. Well, what do I do with a ball of yarn? And the advice she's given is, well, this represents all the connections you're going to make. So if I was to give a ball of yarn to one person in the audience right now and have that person turn around and pass it to someone they've made a connection with, and they're going to pass it to the next person they've made a connection with. And it might have been a 2-minute conversation. It might have been a presentation you were at. It may have been a person that you haven't seen for a year or two that, you know, you got to connect over their situation. Pretty shortly, we'd have a complete mess. And you would all be utterly tangled up. But that ball of yarn represents the connections that you can make here at In Shape or any time with your personal learning network. They're here today, which is fantastic, but they're also all over the place. While you've got face-to-face folks to see here, you can and hopefully will want to continue that those connections with people after you leave. I know I'm not going to remember everything I've learned in the last couple of days, but I know there's going to be some people who are going to be getting emails like, hey, I know you did this, but how can I help? How can I move it for this particular situation that I'm in? So you can take your ball of yarn with you. Fairy tales. This is kind of closely related to your games. The more you can spin a story into what you're doing, again, the more buy-in that you're going to get from your students. So for example, Indy was told about somebody who was having one of her classes go out snowshoeing, but they were actually trying to solve a mystery. They were trying to find out, who's ever played the game Clue? Okay, so obviously people not making it is not a good idea. But in this version of Clue, somebody is going out for a winter-based activity. They don't know where they're going. They don't know which activity they're doing. They don't know what piece of vital winter equipment they forgot. They don't know what dangerous winter condition they're going to encounter. And they have to solve the puzzle through orienteering. So again, you're adding stories and layers and like mysteries to things. You are going to get more buy-in from your students. And then just like, got it. Storybook in the bag. This one probably doesn't need a whole lot of explanation, but after heading into Bedford, which by the way, I went to university in Bedford in the United Kingdom. Not quite the same place. Anyhow, protection. Now, we're all pretty well versed with protection over the last couple of years, and then she's like, well, I don't want it to rain, and I don't obviously want to get sunburnt either, but what do you mean? How do I do that? And said, well, it's not so much about the sun or the rain or any bad elements. It's about you protecting yourself. You looking after yourself, because if you're not looking after yourself, you're not going to be there and be able to help anybody else you're trying to help. So whatever that looks like for you, whether it is putting that suntan lotion on, whether it is packing that rain jacket, whether it is making sure you're getting those extra couple of hours of sleep, what are you going to do to protect yourself? And then just like, okay, good point. Note to self, go to bed earlier. All right, Indy's almost done with her road trip, but heading into Columbus, she has given a beach ball. Like, sweet, where's the beach? Are there any beaches near Columbus? No? Okay, just, you never know. Okay, she has a beach ball. What does a beach ball represent? The beach ball represents fun, because ultimately, we have lots of things that we're supposed to be doing and teaching and learning, but we cannot lose sight of the fun. Now, I have some advice for all of you. If you're ever going anywhere, you can pack a beach ball, right? Really, really small, into a suitcase. Stuck in an airport, bored, get your beach ball out. Imagine how much more fun a 4-hour delay or whatever it might be is going to be if you've got some, imagine how much tension you're going to get as well from small little people as well. You can take it anywhere, you can do anything. It's instant fun. So beach ball, don't forget that we are here and we are wanting to have fun in what we're doing. Okay. People of Richmond, they're telling Indy, you need a soapbox. Do I smell? No, you don't smell. But you need your soapbox to stand on, because you don't tell anybody the awesome things that you're doing. They're not going to know. You need to be the person that's popping in to see your principal and tell them, guess what we did in class today? Guess what we did in class today? You should come visit class tomorrow because this is what we're doing. Guess what happened this time? They want to know every single, they don't know necessarily they want to know everything you're doing in your program, but they really do. They really do. They would like probably daily visits from you to let them know what's going on. And then next time you ask for something, guess what? The chance of that yes coming might slightly increase. And if you then go to your school board as well and just like, hi, I'm not here to tell you what I want, I'm just telling you what we're doing in class. They'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. No, now you do. And then I'm going to come back maybe another month or two and tell you again what I'm doing. And then maybe a little bit further down the road. And then perhaps when I do ask for something, they know who we are. They know what we're doing. And you're much more likely to get a positive response. And of course, you're going to smell nice as well. It's going to be so soapbox is in there too. Getting close. Up to Muncie. Yay, Muncie. Okay, Muncie, they're pretty smart too. They're good on the personal hygiene front. Recommend packing the toothbrush. Okay, good idea. Gotta have some nice fresh thing. But for the toothbrush, we're talking about you freshening up. And that's exactly what you're doing here at InShape. You are freshening up your skills. You're freshening up your knowledge. You're hopefully going to be leaving with like, I got new ideas. I feel invigorized. I feel like I can go back and I've got the next 2 or 3 months of school and I've got some more zest, more zip ready to take back with me as well. And that extends to online places as well, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's other professional learning communities that you're a member of. That's where you can go to freshen up. Sometimes you can just go there for inspiration. Like you can see what other people are doing and just be like, oh, it's so nice to see these students being successful in this area and experiencing the joy that we can get from health and physical education as well. Now, Indianapolis. Indy's almost there. Woo-hoo! He's like, you need to pack a mask. I'm like, do I? Why? Because people might think you're an imposter. I'm like, it's a bit weird. You know what they said about saying, how many times in your life do you feel like you don't know what you're doing? That you're not sure, you don't think you can pull it off. That mask represents what we all feel at some point, where we feel like we're somewhat of an imposter. But the truth is, if we didn't have that feeling, we would be probably squarely in our comfort zone. And that mask represents us getting out of that comfort zone and willing to try something new, to do exactly what we're doing, to asking our students to do it on a daily basis, to take that small step, that small little leap of faith, to feel a little uncomfortable, do something that makes you feel like, ooh, I don't exactly know what I'm doing here, but hey, I'm going to try. I personally can still draw a line between before I taught Zumba and after I taught Zumba. It was probably one of the biggest turning points I had teaching-wise, because I felt like I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to do it. And then once I'd done that, I'm like, you know what? I don't need to know everything. It doesn't matter if I screw up. It's okay. In fact, the sooner you get comfortable with anything going wrong, the easier your life is going to get. I unfortunately was supposed to know everything. It was a sign of weakness if I didn't. And my students expected me to know everything. Life got a whole lot easier, and I remembered that mask, I need to embrace it, I need to use it, and let it help me grow and show people it's okay when I don't know how to do something or when I mess up, which, by the way, is quite a lot. If you saw me playing paddle sand this morning, there was a lot of messing up going on. Which leads us to the Yeti. One of the best things I ever learned is to pack a cuddly toy, a little Yeti, to remind us of the power of that you cannot do something yet. Hopefully, in the last few days, you've seen people present. There might be some of you thinking, I couldn't present. Well, maybe that's just a yet. Maybe that you're not there right now, but you can. Don't set yourself short on what you can do. And I have a little example here of something I tried a couple of years ago. So this is me attempting to learn how to ripstick, because it looks really easy, right? Yeah. Now, what you can't hear is my daughter narrating my shockingly bad attempts. And she's like, it's attempt number 1. And then we get attempt number 2, which, by the way, you'll see quickly is not much better. Yeah, not on the race yet. We're up to attempt number 3. Now we're getting some helpful hints from child. Equally shocking. Up to number 4.
Jeez.
I tell you, it's a harsh crowd out there. So I was feeling reasonably successful by this point, even though I'm clearly going absolutely nowhere. And we're up to 5. I know. That's quick. And then fast forward to next year. I was like, I got this nail, look at me. And in my head, I thought I was going so quickly here. I mean, there was speed. You missed a little wobble around the corner here, but I was like, I'm so impressed with myself. But that is the power of being a Yeti. You never, ever shut the door to yourself trying new things, to learning new things. That reminds me, I need to get that thing out again once the snow disappears. Yeah, there I am, in case you can't see where I am. So make sure you pack your Yeti. And then we're almost there. Last but not least, you're going to pack that party hat and that hooter, because you need to celebrate. Unfortunately, we don't celebrate enough. We need to celebrate the small wins. You need to celebrate that. I got up this morning and I feel good, because those days don't always happen. You've got to celebrate. 3/4 of my class were listening to me today. Yes. You've got to celebrate. The weather did the right thing for me. It can be the world's smallest thing. Unfortunately, evolution gives us a negativity bias. you know, in the olden days where we had to like run away from saber-toothed tigers and so on, it was quite helpful to be aware for things that were possibly bad. I don't think that's happening right now in any of our school fields. So we're kind of safe. So celebrate, encourage your students to celebrate, because you do amazing stuff every single day and often don't take the time to recognize. And it doesn't have to be monumental. It can be something little. So take the time to celebrate. Take the time to bring souvenirs with you from whatever you're doing, whether it's writing down, whether it's a note of thanks from somebody, whether it's a comment from a student about something that they enjoyed. Save those souvenirs, because they will often save you on a day when it's not going quite so well, or you haven't got quite so much energy. And the very last thing you're going to pack in your suitcase is a rock, to remind you that you do rock your students' world every single day, even if you don't always get told that. So thank you so much for having me. I hope you feel invigorated, like you can go travel through time, like you can stay safe from saber-toothed tigers and so on, and you know what to pack with your case for the rest of your school year. Thank you very much.